Hi, my name is Chris Baker with Baker DMM. This is our Video Digest newsletter. Topic of today's newsletter is going to be private care homes, an alternative option. And before I jump into our discussion, I want to read you a statistic which states that in Florida, the average cost for skilled nursing or to stay in a skilled nursing home is $8,000 a month. And I mean, that's a significant number. And for those of you who have been researching, looking into this, probably anywhere in the country, almost probably anywhere in the world, you're going to realize, okay, you're going to be more comfortable with that number. But for those that are just getting into, the aging world or researching it, whether it's for you or a loved one, that's going to be a shocking number because that's a significant amount of money. If someone needs skilled nursing, 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I mean, it's going to get expensive. And particularly now with the aging world and the aging United States, this is more important than ever because a lot of people, unfortunately, hopefully you don't need it or your loved ones, but there are going to be a lot of people that are going to need help. And the problem that we want to talk about today is that there are a lot of wonderful communities out there, and they range all the way from independent living to basically skilled nursing, nursing homes. But in the costs vary greatly and very widely, depending on the regions and the different parts of the country, and depending on what illnesses, cognitively or physically, that you suffer from. But the problem is that a lot of people, unfortunately, aren't going to be able to afford all of these wonderful resources that are out there. So they're going to have to think more creatively and think outside the box and think, okay, I only have $100,000 saved. And I've got this illness or that illness, and I'm going to need some care at some point. Maybe not now, but in another year, maybe 2 years or 3 years or whenever that is. And if it's not for you, it could be for a loved one. And in the article that I'm referencing, it's from the Herald Tribune, which is a newspaper from near Sarasota, Florida. And they talk about this family who operates a private care home. And they charge between $2,400 and $4,800 a month for 24-hour care, one-on-one care. So that's significant. $8,000 versus $2,400 or $8,000 versus $4,800. If you're on limited resources and you've only got $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 saved up in a nest egg, and you can save $6,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month by going to a private care home, from a financial standpoint, that's worth serious consideration. Now, it goes on to talk about it, and I'll post the link to this article on our channel, but it goes on to discuss some of the cons of private care homes. We've discussed from a financial standpoint that it could save a significant amount of money per month, but some of the other issues, particularly in Florida, is that it's a very unregulated industry. It's very new, and there's certain families and people, if they have only, I think it's 1 or 2 families living with them, they don't need to be licensed. They don't need to be registered with the state. I think in Florida, if they have more than 2 families or people living with them that they're actually providing care for, then they have to be licensed and registered through the state, which means that they have to comply with state laws and regulations. But if they're not licensed, they don't have to comply with these laws and regulations. So if you're thinking outside the box, you need to start investigating and do your due diligence and interview the people that you want to live with or your family or your loved ones want to live with, and really vet them, figure out who they're taking care of, and do they have any complaints? Have there been any issues filed against them? Visit the home, visit the people, and get to know these people before you commit to living with them or your loved ones. And the earlier, the better. And this hits home for us because I have a client right now with Baker DMM that is in this position. She has limited resources, probably just under $100,000 of money saved up in a retirement account. And she's been in and out of the hospital pretty frequently the last, particularly this year in 2017, but on and off, the last couple years. She's in her late 60s. She suffers definitely from physical impairments. She's had various surgeries. She's had some mobility issues. She also suffers from some cognitive impairments, nothing like Alzheimer's and dementia, but mainly depression and substance abuse. But this woman, she is a prime candidate for a nursing home, a private care home, or skilled nursing, But the problem is with skilled nursing, she can't afford it. And there's just no way. I mean, she could maybe get admitted and into one and live there for maybe 6 months, maybe a year, but that would exhaust all of her resources. And then what's she going to do after that? Well, we're trying to coach her into going into a personal private care home, but the only problem is, it's very late in the game. This is kind of being thrown on her at the last minute, and she's really not prepared. She doesn't want to go to a private care home. She thinks she's lived a very nice life, a fortunate, wonderful life. And to be honest, she feels she's above going to a private care home. She doesn't want to, she looks negatively upon a private care home. And she says, well, I don't want to do that because I'm giving up and I don't want to live in that kind of environment. I want to have my own apartment, my own room, my own fancy place. And basically kind of saying with the private care home, it's kind of below her. But it's really not the case. There are a lot of wonderful care homes out there. But the key is addressing it early on and being realistic with your financial resources. Unfortunately, in this particular case with our client, I mean, they don't have millions and millions of dollars saved up. They don't have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars saved up. They do have some savings, but it's definitely not enough to be able to afford skilled nursing care and that kind of 24/7 environment. And hopefully they'll make the right decision and they'll investigate, at least give a private care home, give it a look and to consider it, because it would really benefit them financially. I mean, ultimately, in the end, we're all responsible for our own decisions, and we all got to make the bed, sleep in the bed that we make, whatever you want to call it. But you need to think about it early on. Like our client, unfortunately, they're a little bit late, but hopefully you, by watching this, you can think about it early if it's for yourself or your loved one, a friend, whoever it may be. Started looking into it now, investigating, thinking outside the box, for different alternative options. It's all on the table, whether it's an independent retirement home, all the way to skilled nursing facility, or even a private care home. So hopefully this video will help you start thinking about it. And if you found this video interesting or helpful, please feel free to share with your family or friends or whoever you think might benefit from viewing this information. If you ever have a question you'd like for me to answer to one of our newsletters, you can go to our website, www.bakerdmm.com, scroll to the bottom, fill out your information, contact info, write a few sentences about your question. We'll try to answer that in one of our upcoming newsletters. And if you'd ever like to get my help personally, the quickest and easiest way is to go to our website. We've got our phone number there that you can call, or you can click on the request an appointment button, or if you scroll to the bottom and you'd like to book a phone consulting session, click on the PayPal button, enter your information, and with any of these options, we'll be in touch with you in 24 to 48 hours to schedule an appointment. And until then, I will talk to you soon.